Mr. Milton Lewis was an innovative contracting expert who specialized in process improvement throughout his 37-year military and government civilian career. His influence will guide innovations and strategies for acquisition specialists for many years to come. His dedication was unwavering and was matched only by his strong character and his pride in the DLA Land and Maritime Organization. Navy Rear Admiral Kristen Fabry, commander of DLA Land and Maritime, will discuss some of Mr. Lewis's lasting contributions.
Mr. Milton Lewis is so deserving of being inducted to the DLA Hall of Fame. And there are many reasons to mention here. But first of all, he was our very first acquisition SES, Senior Executive of Acquisition here at DLA Land and Maritime back in 2008. And so amongst his 42 years of his distinguished career, 29 years active duty in the Army, and then the rest as a civil service in the SES, he did so many things, such as the first Destination Transportation and Packaging Initiative, which really set the bar for commercial standards and leveraged DLA's buying power to make sure that we were at cutting edge in our efforts to make sure that we were efficient, innovative, and providing the best support for our customers on a daily basis. He also was very instrumental in creating the Strategic Supplier Alliance, which helped enable us to work with our major contractors and working to provide the best customer service we possibly could to our warfighter by working with the major weapon systems and acquisition systems with the Strategic Supplier Alliance partners. He also was very instrumental with DNA marking, which would help remove counterfeit items out of the supply chain and make sure they never got into the supply chain in the first place through DNA marking. Also, he was very instrumental with additive manufacturing and setting metrics, really setting the bar high for metrics and looking at how we measure things with regards to ALT, which is the administrative lead time for our procurement processes, to really look at how do we reduce and cut that down. And also, how do we look at performance and goals for our associates and for our workforce. I believe Mr. Milton Lewis's most lasting impact on the Defense Logistics Agency is all the effort he did with the acquisition workforce. He was truly a people person. He looked at what, performance, education for the acquisition workforce. Working with our people, our greatest asset, was clearly a high priority for him. And it really, again, set the culture here at Land and Maritime for what we do best here in supporting the warfighter. And a story would not be complete without sharing a few of the cryptic analogies that Mr. Lewis was very fond and famous for using. And one of them was so distinct I have to look at my notes briefly just to share it with you. He said things like, "We're chasing things like a blind dog in a meat house." And this is a self-licking ice cream cone. And here we go again on the road to Abilene. So just amazing analogies and things that people would remember him for long after his time here. His legacy is firmly established here at DLA Land and Maritime for all of his amazing accomplishments and the inspiration that he gave us here in Columbus. Mr. Lewis, I would like to personally congratulate you for your induction into the DLA Hall of Fame. And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that when it pertains to you, the juice is definitely worth the squeeze.
Admiral Fabry, thank you for those kind words. First of all, I'd like to thank Admiral Skubik and the entire DLA team on behalf of my family and myself for this honor. And being inducted into the DLA Hall of Fame is really an honor, but it's also it's a humbling experience. And I thank you for this recognition. I also like to thank the DLA Land and Maritime team. It is because of their dedication and their hard work that I'm being inducted today into the Hall of Fame. Jim McClarty, who was my good friend, and he was also the deputy commander of DLA Land and Maritime, and if I'm not mistaken, will probably be a future Hall of Famer himself. Jim was fond of saying that if you ever see a turtle on a post, one thing you can be sure of, he didn't get there by himself. And that's what I can say about myself today, you know, as I am inducted into the DLA Hall of Fame. It took a lot of work and a lot of help from a lot of people. And I'm truly, truly grateful for all of their assistance. What I tried to do in my time, and I saw my role as removing obstacles for folks, and trying not to become an obstacle myself. Some days I was better at that than others, but even when I stumbled, the folks around me would pick up the slack. And I'm very, very thankful for that, and that I had the right folks at the right time. A special thank you to my family. I want to thank my wife, Hia. We've been married for 43 years, and she knows all the rough spots, the highs and the lows. I want to thank my children, my son, Jason, daughter-in-law, Ashley, my daughter, Cynthia, my son-in-law, Greg, and my son, Jeremy. I couldn't have done anything without your love and support. It's been, you're the light of my life, and I love all of you very dearly. I'd like to congratulate all of the inductees, all my fellow inductees into the class of 2020. I had the pleasure of serving with many of the folks who are being inducted, and I can say that I know their contributions to DLA and to the nation firsthand, and I know that they're all deserving of this great honor. And I'm humbled to be a part of such a distinguished group. The fact that I'm here today being inducted into the DLA Hall of Fame is somewhat surreal to me when I think about all the coincidences and things that had to happen in order to get me to this point. I can remember in 1992, as I was finishing up command as an Ordnance Corps, brand spanking new lieutenant colonel in Germany. I was getting ready to come back to the States as an acquisition corps officer, because I had made that transition and the Army had stood up a new corps, an acquisition corps. And so the Ordnance Corps gave me an assignment to Germany. Acquisition Corps was giving me an assignment after Germany. My assignment officer said, "Yeah, I've got 5 opportunities for you, 5 jobs. You can take any one of those." This was the first time I've ever gotten a choice. The Ordnance Corps never gave me a choice. The only choice I normally had when I got an assignment was Windle, Cedar Isle. That was it. So not where I was going to go. So I had 5 choices. 4 of those locations I knew a little bit about, and then there was this one on the list. It was Columbus, Ohio. And as an ordnance and as an Army officer, the first question I says, you know, we don't have many Army bases here, was, what's in Columbus, Ohio? And they says, well, this is the DLA organization. It's Defense Construction Supply Center. That was the name then of DLA Land and Maritime. And the job we've got for you there is you're going to be you would be the procurement, chief of procurement division. And so I thought about that, and then they said, well, I really didn't know if that was the job I wanted to take. And then they said, well, you also know this organization by its route and identifier code, which is S9C. And I knew S9C because as a maintenance guy in the Army, I knew all my parts generally came from S9C. So I said, send me to Columbus, Ohio. And that's where I went. And I signed in June of 1993. What I didn't realize in 93 was that I had just had my last assignment in the Army with an Army unit. I would spend 11 more years in the Army in uniform, but my next assignments were in Texas and Germany, and then back to Columbus. But I was in DLA for that entire time. In 2004, I retired from the Army. My last job was as the director of land-based, the land-based weapons systems group here at Columbus, and then it was Defense Supply Center Columbus. I retired, went into private industry for 4 years, and then in 2008, General McQuistion, who was then the commander of Defense Supply Center Columbus, and General Dale, who was then the director of DLA, gave me the offer of a lifetime, a dream job. And they offered me the opportunity to become the acquisition, what is now the acquisition executive for DLA Land and Maritime. I took that opportunity and came aboard for my third time in Columbus as the AE. This job turned out to be everything I thought it would be. There's an author who by the name of Harvey McKay, and Harvey McKay has this, and he's given credit for this saying that says that find something to do that you love, and if you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I think that's true about me and DLA, because if that's the standard, then I never worked a day in DLA, because I truly love what I did. I truly love being the acquisition executive for DLA Land and Maritime. When I came aboard in Land and Maritime, the war in Iraq and Afghanistan was going hot and heavy. MRAP support was the order of the day. It was a challenging mission, but it was a do not fail mission, as we supported soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines at the pointy end of the spear. People's lives depended on that we got it right. And thanks to the dedication and the work of the folks at Land and Maritime, but across DLA, I think we got it right. I have gotten many letters from soldiers who are still here, who are still with us, because of the MRAPs that we supported allowed them to come home. The folks here, the dedication to that mission is extraordinary. I am proud to have been part of that effort. I am proud to have contributed in some small way to making that happen. In retirement, sometimes I sit back and I think about the breadth of the mission of DLA, all the moving parts, and no pun intended, that go along in DLA on a daily basis. And even having been a part of the organization, I am still awestruck at how well this mission, as difficult and as broad and as complex as it is, how this organization gets that done every day, 365. It's been an honor to be a part of this organization. I'm proud to be a soldier, and I am a soldier for life, but I'm also proud to be a DLAer, and I'm a DLAer for life. Thank all of you for what you do day in and day out, taking care of America's finest. I wish you the best. Keep charging, and I know you will. I ask for God's blessings on you and your families. Godspeed. Thank you.